Hey, what's up guys? Spencerhoyt here for you today, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think mental illness can either be a crutch or can either be a stepping stone. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so there's a number of reasons why I wanted to make this video today. I've been thinking about it quite a bit for the past week or so. There's been a lot of people who have been coming to me asking for help, asking for advice, how to deal with their mental illness, and how to do certain things every day that will basically help them overcome their challenges, right? And so I wanted to make a video and kind of express my thoughts about mental illness as a whole, and why I personally think that for me in my life it has been a stepping stone instead of a crutch, and why I think a lot of people struggle and even fail with overcoming their mental illness because they look at their mental illness as a crutch instead of a stepping stone that can lead to bigger and better things. Excuse me. And so one of the reasons why I think, for me personally, in my personal life, how I've seen mental illness become a stepping stone to greatness for me is there's a ton of different reasons, but for starters, my mental illness has definitely opened a lot of different insights for me, especially when it comes to looking at other people and seeing how people deal with their life, their problems. It's crazy because over the past couple years, I've been able to really become in touch with who I am as a person. And that's really helped me a lot because it's helped me figure out, when I need to do certain things to overcome my mental illness and when I need to not do certain things that I know that are not going to help me with my mental illness. Like for instance, a couple weeks ago we had the 4th of July, and for me the 4th of July is always really difficult because around like 8 or 9 o'clock there's always tons of fireworks for just hours and hours and hours. And for me, those fireworks are very triggering for my PTSD. And so I always, every year, I take precautions and I make a set plan. And I make sure that I have a set focus and a set plan so that when those fireworks start going off, I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna start having panic attacks. I'm not gonna wanna, self-harm and stuff. I put these barriers in my mind that tell my mind, no matter what happens, I have these other things to keep me focused so that my mind is not going to deviate and want to do these other things that in my mind will help me overcome my PTSD. And so I, throughout the day, I hung out with friends, did the normal thing, 4th of July, what people do, went to a barbecue at a friend's, went swimming and stuff. But when everyone split off around probably like 8 o'clock, I was like, nope, I'm actually, I'm sorry guys, but I have to go home. Explained to a couple people why I was going home. Not really in complete depth. Most of my friends who I associate myself with know, that I struggle with mental illness and stuff. And so a short explanation is more than enough to explain to them. And so I went home. And as soon as the fireworks started going off, I went to our little gym in our apartment, and I worked out for 2 or 3 hours. I ran 4 or 5 miles on the treadmill, did a bunch of pull-ups. It's not the little gym inside of our apartment is not super huge, and so there really wasn't a ton that I could do, which is totally fine. I just needed something. A little bit of something that I could do to, I just needed something that I could do to, distract me from those fireworks. And I even took a couple videos of me working out and such, which I'll show briefly in this video. And And if you listen closely, you can hear all the popping, all the sounds of the fireworks going off, that normally, if I didn't have a set plan, would cause me to panic, cause me to have panic attacks, which would make me want to self-harm. And then, once I self-harm, feel guilty about it, which can lead to suicidal ideation. And so, through my mental illness, I have been able to create a certain level of self-awareness to be able to recognize when things that are triggering or things that are going to be triggering are going to happen, and be able to set up certain barriers in my mind, set up certain procedures that I have to be able to fight those mental problems that I have in those moments. And so, like I said before, I've been talking to a number of people this week, and I think a number of people really accept the stereotype of mental illness, whether they're suffering from depression, anxiety, an eating disorder, BPD, bipolarism, like whatever it is, whatever sort of mental illness they're suffering from, I feel like they accept it to a point where they, even if they want to change, they are at the point where they say, I can't really change, because it's literally ingrained in their mind because of what other people and what society has pushed upon us, if that makes sense. And so in that case, for these people, mental illness is most definitely a crutch. For these people, in order to change, in their mind, it looks more difficult than in most circumstances than it actually is. And I'm not saying, overcoming mental illness is easy at all. I'm just saying that, with practice, you practicing every single day, whether it's, being a little bit more productive than the day before, whether it's trying to go to the gym that day, whether it's, trying to watch a motivational video or, making your bed, whatever it is that can help you overcome your crutch of mental illness, and tell your mind that this is not a crutch, but this is something that can actually help me in the long term, I think can be extremely beneficial for people. But I think, like I said before, people really, really, for the most part, have just accepted their mental illness, and when they want to try harder, they say, no, I'm mentally ill, like this is what I'm supposed to do, because society has ingrained within our thoughts that people who are mentally ill are supposed to be in their room all day, and supposed to sleep for 14, 15 hours every single day, and supposed to get cut, and supposed to do all these things that are associated with mental illness. And so I challenge you guys that as you do your best to overcome your mental illness and try to transition your mind from thinking of mental illness as a crutch into thinking of it more as a stepping stone, that your life it's going to do a 360 degree change. You're literally your life's going to be, the difference is going to be night and day within your life after a number of months, after a number of years of you trying to tell yourself and tell everyone, this does not dictate who I am. This mental illness does not control me. I control it, even though at times it really does seem like our mental illness does control us. And there are days where, man, even for me, I get really discouraged, and I'm like, man, this sucks a lot. I've wanted to cut all day, or I've cut a couple times today, or I'm so depressed that I can't even I don't even want to get out of bed all day. You're gonna have days like that. But like I said before, as you practice to switch the thought process in your brain from thinking of your mental illness as a crutch into a stepping stone that can make you a better person, your whole life's going to change. And I've definitely seen that in my own life as I've, practiced every single day to get over my mental illness, whether it's, going to the gym every single day, whether it's talking to someone about their mental illness, or helping someone by giving them advice, or making a YouTube video, or posting on Instagram and just showing people that there's nothing wrong with mental illness. There's so many different things that you can do to change your mindset and change how you feel about your mental illness. And so once again, like seriously, I challenge you guys to try your best and it's going to take a lot of practice, but to get to the point where you can look at your mental illness as a stepping stone to greater things and a greater self instead of a crutch. That's something that's just, constantly going to weigh you down. And, if you guys have any questions, comment down below. I'd love to, I always read you guys' comments and try to answer them the best of my ability. And I'm always looking for more ideas, for more videos to shoot for you guys. I got a lot of different ideas, but I don't always know how to portray them in a way that I think would be meaningful for everyone. And so, like I said before, if you guys could comment and like this video, and I will get back to you guys as soon as you can. But for now, again, challenge yourself every single day, and I promise it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it in the end. And so I appreciate you guys watching my video. If you guys need anything, let me know, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.